Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial for this Oreo bear cupcake. I really hope you enjoy this video and don't forget to subscribe and click the like button and let me know in the comments what you think. So for this tutorial I will be making the tiny Oreos using this mould. This mould is from Miniature Sweet and I will leave a link to it down in the description box. I love this mould, it just makes the cutest, tiniest little Oreos. So I suck at sculpting, but if you would like to sculpt the biscuits yourself then please go ahead, or if you can't get hold of this mould, I'll try and leave some helpful tutorials in the description box to help you make your own. So to make the tiny little biscuit pieces, I'm just pressing some black clay into the mould, and it is super simple and super flexible, so I'm just flexing it and then very gently removing the pieces, and as you can see they've got so much detail and they're so tiny, so you are just going to want to make loads and loads and loads of these. So once you've finished popping them all out and they're ready to go, you're going to want to bake these for about half the usual time. I usually bake mine for about 15 minutes, and it just means they're hard enough that we can put the white clay in the centre and we can rebake with no worry of burning. As you can see here, I just keep a bunch of them made, so whenever I want to use them I can. You can obviously always use these for different things. You can cut them up, put them in clay, on clay, whatever it is, so they're very handy. So here I've basically just found two that I really like that I think match, because no two Oreo biscuits are made the same, but basically you just want to find two that you like, two that match, and roll out a very small ball of white clay. You just want to take that ball of clay and press it onto one of the sides of the biscuit. You basically want to press it down about halfway just so you can level it out, so it's going to be nice and even. And then I'm just matching the logo placement on both sides. You don't have to do this obviously, but then you want to take the other side and just press it down as evenly as possible so you get a nice even Oreo. So once you've done that, it should look like this, and it should look like a really cute tiny little Oreo that has the cream in the inside. So obviously you only technically need one to make the bear, but I really do find that making it even is very hard, so I recommend sort of making 3 to 5 different ones so you can mix and match the halves that you use to make it look as even as possible. So I'm going to bake this again for another 15 minutes, which means the total of baking is 30 minutes. It is completely fine to then bake this for another 30 minutes. Polymer clay can actually be baked for quite a while, so don't worry about that, I do it all the time. So once they've baked, let them cool down and then we can start cutting them in half. So I'm just taking a razor blade, finding the most even parts of them, and then I am holding both sides and cutting down the middle. I hold both sides, otherwise it goes flying and you end up losing loads of pieces, but please do be careful. So there's one other piece to this tutorial that needs baking in advance, and that is the tiny little cookie bits that are going to go in the base to make it look like cookies and cream on the cupcake. So this is super simple. All you want to do is just bake some black clay, make sure it's not too thick just because we will be cutting it up as you can see, and then you just cut it up into tiny little chunks to make it look like little cookie bits. So now it's time to start work on the cupcake, so I'm just taking some white clay and conditioning it so it's nice and soft. So then I'm just adding in those tiny chunks of black clay that we made earlier and just conditioning it and mixing it and just adding as much as I like, but this is obviously subjective, so add as much as you want or as little. So once you've mixed it to how you like it, I'm then just going to add some on the outside of the clay before I press it into my mould. This just adds a little bit of texture, otherwise you won't really see many of the cookie pieces and they'll just be embedded in the clay, but this is an optional step. So once you've got it to how you like it, you then want to just press it into your cupcake base mould. So this is also from Miniature Sweet, and I will also leave a link to it down below. You know it's my favourite, I've been using mine for 6+ years, so that's what we're going to be using today. Again, if you'd like to sculpt your own, then you can go ahead and do that as well. So I'm just cutting the excess off with my knife, and I'm going to get on to doing the rest of the cupcake. So as you guys know, I do a lot of cupcake tutorials on this channel and I don't want to keep repeating myself and boring you guys, so I'm just skipping past a lot of this. However, I do have a basic cupcake tutorial on my channel which goes over all of the steps you're seeing on the screen right now in depth, in detail, and with all the tips that I've learned over the years. So I like to refer everyone back to that so that we're not repeating ourselves, so I will leave that in the description box for you guys and you can take a look if you need to. So making the face on this cupcake uses the same techniques as in the tutorial I've just mentioned, but I'm just mixing it up and I'm adding a little nose as well just to make it look more like a bear. You can obviously experiment and make your own faces, whatever you think a bear face looks like. So once you've finished the top of the cupcake and you've added your adorable little face, you then want to add some icing. So I know I sound very repetitive, but I also have an icing tutorial on my channel because again, if I put that in this video, it would make it 4 times longer. So I'll leave that in the description box as well. So I'm just using white icing. You could mix it up and use black like the biscuits, or you could use the brand colour blue, whatever you want to do, but I'm just using white icing today. So you just want to place that icing in the centre on the top of the cupcake. I actually add a little bit less than I usually do for a normal cupcake because I just think it looks a little bit better. So just take the 2 halves of the Oreos you've chosen and stick those on the sides. So the icing is going to act as a glue, so you shouldn't need any more glue or liquid clay or anything like that for this to work. So you just want to press those on quite firmly just to make sure they're not going anywhere, and then you can add your eye pin if you want to turn it into a charm. So then you just want to bake it to the instructions that you can find on the packaging of the polymer clay that you're using. And there you have it, you have your very own Oreo bear cupcake charm. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As I said in the beginning, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like if you enjoyed it. You can click on the screen to go to my last videos, and you can also click the description box for all of the links that I've mentioned, an FAQ, and also links to all my social media and all that good stuff. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!